And we're live, TikTok Live number 57. The top 5 listeners, guys, tonight. Top 5 listeners for that. However long I do the live, I give you guys a shout out on the podcast, in the caption on YouTube and the podcast channel. So the first question here, Kev asked, which hospital are you a resident at? Well, now it is because for like protective purposes, until I graduate in 2 months, I try not to throw around like what hospital at the name of the residency I'm at. Because for at least now, I have to protect the patients, and I have to protect, like, I don't know, there was an issue in the past with, the compliance department can get very hands-on if they don't like what you're doing. One of the things that basically what they said to me is don't include the name of the institution on what you're doing, with social media. So where I'm at, I'm not allowed to tell where I go to residency right now on social media. And I have to say, like, all these things are opinions of my own, no medical advice, and so stuff like that. Zane asks, what do I need to do during my D1 and D2 year to increase my chance to get into OMFS? Okay, so first thing is you got to have good grades, right? That's going to increase your ranking, get your ranking up, all right? That's 2 things. After you're getting good grades and your ranking's up and you're interested in oral surgery, next thing you want to do is get that CBSE out of the way, okay? When you get your CBSE out of the way, and that's tough. The CBSE is a tough exam. It's like the step 1 exam, but like a shortened version. Step 1 is the medical school board exam. So you're basically going to be taking the medical school board exam on top of all your dental school courses and your dental school clinics, so seeing patients and whatnot, right? So you got to get that down. And then last, get some externships in. The magic number is about 3. If you can get those externships in, this one you spend a week at an oral surgery program, assisting, shadowing, helping in the seeing what they're doing in the OR and stuff. Okay, and then letters of recommendation, maybe research. Those are adjunctive. There's not requirement for applying. And there you go. Ayo, buddy, do you think the 6-year OMFS residency guys tend to do fellowships more than 4-year? Or not? From my standpoint, from what I've seen, yeah, I think they do. I think they generally tend to. It's not 100% of the time, but the 6-year oral surgery residents generally end up going to fellowships more often than 4 years. But that being said, I do know 4 years that have gone into fellowships, right? I know someone who went into like the head, neck, and cosmetic fellowship. So that's something to consider. Jimena, does having 2 bachelor degrees in science help to get into dental school? No, I mean, I don't think it would hurt, So that's pretty good. I don't know if it would yeah, I'm sure it would help. You did college twice, or you studied twice. K10 said, how much money do you guys make when you're done working in the private sector? Or when you're done working? What do you mean, how much do you make? You mean like over the course of your 30, give or take, your career? I mean, I don't know. I've never even thought of that. I've never thought of like a goal of money. In fact, I've been told you probably shouldn't do that. Kev, are you that hockey player? LOL. Oh, the hockey player, Brendan Galley. That's so funny because his number's 11, right? I think his number is 11. And yeah, he was like an all-star, right? But it was funny because in basketball, I also wore number 11 too, which is really, really funny. Apple user 4348. Does a low DAT score correlate to bad performance in dental school? I took it once and got in somehow. No, man, it doesn't. Just because you get a low score on the DAT, it doesn't mean that you're going to be bad in dental school or whatnot. It all comes down to work ethic. Dental school has so many things in it, especially in dental school. I mean, take it that you're going to be working with your hands a lot of the time. That has no correlation with your DAT score. Jess Lohman said, "Can I ask a teeth question?" Sure, Jess. What would you like to ask? Let me know. We could do teeth questions too. Here we go. Jess Lohman said, "My retainer doesn't feel like it fits, right? Does that put me at risk of my teeth moving?" I mean, over time, it doesn't happen like overnight, but over a couple of weeks to months to years, yeah, I mean, your teeth could go back to their more natural position, the way they kind of just settle. Sometimes, the orthodontic retainers help it stay in line overnight after you finish your treatment with braces. And so that can help with that. Apple user 4348, why are you so cool? You making me confident in becoming a dentist. How do I make... What do you mean? Just Lemon said, what are you drinking? It's a little chillier out tonight. I'm in Manhattan, and it's kind of like a wet, muggy, but like cool night. It's like pretty clammy out. You know what I mean? It's like a colder, wet. Yeah, not great. So anyway, I picked up a porter. I figured I'd try this porter. It's Founders. I figured I'd try this Founders Porter for the podcast tonight. I don't know. Give it a shot. Just Loma said, oh, snap, I'm in upstate New York. Nice. What part of upstate New York? My grandparents used to have a house on Schroon Lake near, it's like an out 45 minutes north of Lake George. Yeah. What part of upstate New York are you in? Oh, said, what watch you have on today? Oh, I got this. This is the Citizen Ego Drive. Sorry, Citizen Egozilla. It's like a big diving watch. I wear it for my workouts. It's like, can take a beating. I'm not worried about it getting like dented or messed up. But yeah, I don't know. I kept it on after my workout. So let's see. We're on Gunna's right testicle asked, what is a good CBSE score for OMFS, and are 4-year programs more or less competitive than 6-year programs with the MD? It seems as though the 4-year programs are more competitive than the 6-year programs now. It does seem that way. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because this year there were 21 unmatched spots of OMFS. They filled them in the week to come. They're unmatched spots, but 20 of the 21 unmatched spots this year were 6-year programs. Yep. And last year there were 26 unmatched spots. I'm not aware of how many of those 26 spots last year were 6-year. But I mean, so the data is showing that the 4-year is much more competitive. Much more people are ranking the 4 years than the 6 years. Otherwise, they wouldn't go unmatched. Apple user 4348 said a dentist. Amanda said, how do you decide which programs to apply to? For dental school or oral surgery? I mean, in dental school, look them up. Look up. Well, first go on the Predent Mentor Map at predentmentormap.org. You can check out the dental schools in the United States, and it's like literally we made it a map. And so you can see the dental schools in your area. You can filter based on DAT scores, tuition, class size. Class size is important, right? Because more hands-on one-on-one time with the clinical directors, the instructors in the clinic setting. So Sophie, lower 15 high. Current D3 here. What made you want to specialize in OMFS? Well, one thing I really liked about OMFS is that it's very team-based. And I played basketball in college, played sports in basketball in high school growing up and stuff. And I really like that team atmosphere that I saw in oral surgery on my externship trail. Externships, when you spend a week at the program, getting to see what they're like, they see what you're like, and I really like that team vibe. I mean, the hours are brutal. The hours of oral surgery residency are harder than any other specialty. Okay, and all those times you really had to work together as a team from what I could see on my externships, and so I was like, that's what I want to go into. I miss the team vibe, the team experience. That's why I picked it. Yeah, yep. Amanda said I meant OMFS programs. So, for OMFS, yeah, for OMFS. Just Loman said Plattsburgh, 10 out of 10 recommend trying the Orthodox Brewery. Schroon Lake is like right near me. That's wild. Yeah, well, yeah, Plattsburgh, you're a bit more north, right? You're like, what, a couple hours north of Schroon Lake? Is it Orthodox or Paradox Brewery? The one in Schroon, right? The one near Schroon Lake? Isn't that Paradox? They got a yellow logo. I've been there. Yeah. Oh, I love Paradox. Paradox is a lot of good. It's like a good time. You have some good food places in that area. But Amanda, so how do you decide which programs to apply to? So oral surgery programs. I was really looking at the experience and the culture. I tried to look as best as I could with culture. Culture's one of the top things you need to be looking at. I was also looking at, are the residents doing the surgery? One of the things, that this is important. One of the things I really looked at for oral surgery residencies were, are the residents doing the cutting? Are the residents doing the surgery, or is the instructor doing the surgery, the attending doing the surgery, and the resident assisting the attending? I wanted to go to a program where I'm going to be doing the surgery when I'm finally in chief here, and we do that here. So I'm pretty happy the way that turned out. Honestly, that's one very big positive. I'm doing most of the surgery now as a chief resident here, rather than watching the attending do it or assisting, being the first assist to the attending doing the surgery. So that's pretty important to me. Gunna's right testicle asked, what's a good CBSE score for OMFS, and are the 4-year programs more? Yeah, good CBSE score for OMFS. I would try and aim to get above the 70, above the set in the 70s. Higher the better, of course, right? So that's something to consider. And then, but even if you don't hit that 70, it's not the end of the world. It's not, you know what I mean? He said, is being ortho really hard? Well, orthopedic surgery is very tough. That's very tough to get into, and it's a very tough residency as well. Orthodontics, because I've worked with orthopedic residents in the hospital. Orthodontics, yeah. Orthodontics is one of the hardest specialties to get into. It's very, very competitive. Orthodontics is tough. Yeah. Spicy Firecracker 10 said, where do you practice? I'm still in residency. I'm in Manhattan, New York. I'm actually going to be out in a couple months, 3-4 months. I start working on Long Island. I'll be in Melville. The office is called All County Oral Surgery, and I'll be there in Melville starting August 15th. So come through. Come say hello. Jess Lohman. Oh, I just lost it. Jess Lohman. How do you get into wanting to play with teeth, Shiver? I barely handle flossing. Hey, I mean, I started to feel like I wanted to do surgery. I felt like it was very interesting to do for a career, and it is. It really is. And I love oral surgery. Given surgery, better career, to better quality of life, oral surgery compared to others after residency. How do you get into wanting to do teeth? I mean, teeth generally. I mean, I felt it's like the dental office is like a clean office space. That was something that I always liked. I always liked going to the dentist. They're always very nice, and the office is just like a clean, very sterile like setting. I like that. I like that. There's like a dental office smell. I always felt like it's pretty clean in there, User 214469. What are your thoughts on periodontic residency? I want to do implants and grafting. Well, implants and grafting, we do a lot of that in oral surgery and periodontics too. Periodontics residency is only 3 years. It's not 4. You don't take call, but generally you have to pay a tuition. And sometimes they want you to do a GPR year before you apply to them. So it can be difficult. It can be difficult to get into periodontics now. But it seems to be, from what I've seen, it seems to be a thriving profession. I know a lot of people told me years ago that it's a dying profession. I'm here to tell you, periodontics is not a dying profession. They're thriving. They're alive and well. Generally, I see the residency spots increasing in periodontics residencies. They're taking hold of implants in the dental school. They're telling all the dental students that they place all the implants. They've even made deals at some dental school where they do place all the implants. It's not good from my perspective on an oral surgery side, but for perio, I see it growing. I see it. It's been doing really well. So that's the facts. That's what I'm seeing. All right. Deyvvi said, how hard is it to get into ortho? It's very hard. It's very challenging. Matt Olson said, fave instrument for breaking buccal bone on impacted upper third molar. Crane pick. I like to flick off some bone with the periosteal first, and then I like to get the crane pick in there. You got to be very careful with the crane pick. 1, you can shove something up into the sinus. 2, you can much more easily break off the tuberosity, the maxillary tuberosity, using the crane pick. So you got to be very, very careful using that to take out a maxillary third molar. But I'm going with the crane pick. If not the crane pick, for example, some attendings don't want you to use a crane pick in the maxilla. I think it's great. I would go with a back action straight elevator. That's what I would do. Yep. Mr. Mellon said, do you like mangoes? Yeah, actually, I like mangoes a lot. I like when they're nice, freshly cut. I don't like a dry mango. If you know, you know. I don't like a dry mango. I like a nice, juicy mango. And don't we all, right? I feel like that's like obvious. Anyway, Jose, would you do a fellowship? No, I'm not doing a fellowship. No, guys, I ended up these fellowships, man. All this training, you start, high school to college to dental school I took a gap year, dental school, and then 4 years of residency on top of that. It's like, I mean, I'm going to be 30, I think I'm 31. Wow, I'll be 31 in 2 months. When I graduate in 2 months, I'll be 31. I'll be graduating at 31. So that's more than 12 years of 12 years of education, college, dental school, residency. I'm done, guys. I'm done. I want to go work. I want to move on in my life. I want to start a family. I want to get a house. I want to do my things. I want to live my life for once. I'm done with living in the system. Someone said, actually, the handle is someone. Someone said, do you work in a hospital or a private practice? Well, I'm a resident right now, so I'm working in a hospital. What do you think of periodontics? I answered that. Not yours. Asked, next week is my wisdom tooth surgery. What should I do? Well, I would listen to all the preoperative instructions. Hopefully you've obviously had the consult already, so you have the surgery booked. I would say, follow the preoperative instructions. Make sure you don't, if you're getting sedation, don't eat anything after midnight the night before. No eating or drinking anything, right? That's the preoperative sedation instructions. Yeah, just follow the preoperative instructions. Okay? You're going to come in that morning. You're going to be just fine, all right? Hungry Hippo said, which class do you use for a distal extension for a Kennedy class 1 or 2? I don't do those. Great questions. I don't do those. As in oral surgery, we don't do clasps or that stuff. Jay said, hey, doc, if you choose medical school, which specialty would you have picked? I would not. I'm so glad. If I picked medical school, I don't know, man. My God, plastic surgery residency is like the worst life I've ever seen. Or neurosurgery residency. Neurosurgery residency, those guys just seem like they're working. They look like the Energizer Bunny. They've been going for 3 days straight. They're like doing stroke codes and stuff. Man, what a lifestyle. And then plastic surgery, so malignant. I think plastic surgery, from what I've seen, is the most malignant specialty. That's from what I've seen. Just my opinion. Ford F-150 asked, I've got all these recalls on me, man. What do you mean? What does that mean? What do you mean all the recalls? What do you mean by that? User 2144 said thank you. Yeah, you got it. Addie said, any advice on taking the boards? Study hard. Study hard for the boards. To eliminate distractions, I really recommend the noise canceling headphones. I think those are the best. For studying, the music I like to listen to are progressive house mixes. Look it up. It's called Grand Sound. That's like the artist. And I go on Spotify so there's no ads. And I listen to these 2-hour mixes where it's like a nice, slow, progressive house tune. very melodic house for the background. It helps me like absorb this stuff, and it's got a constant tempo, but no words. Don't listen to music with words. It's going to really distract you when you're trying to study and read and absorb material. Okay. Jessica said, can't stop farting. Help. IBS flare. So much moisture. Jessica, I'm sorry about that. That sounds. Jessica just got the #1 gifter badge. You send me over some farts? I would win that battle. I'm telling you right now. Man, that's hilarious. That's really funny. Jessica said that just made my. Cheers, Jessica. Get after it. Jessica, what are you, like lactose intolerant like me? I swear, give me some sour cream or some milk. I'm going to win that battle. Jessica followed the live creator. Thanks, Jessica. I hope you're having a good Saturday night too. Why are you on TikTok live? Why not out? With all those farts, you could have so many victims if you were out rather than just hanging out. 5-7 join. What's up, Vadim? Let's see. Other advice for taking the boards. I would say the biggest advice that I could give you for studying. I used to study when I was in dental school. I used to study at Panera Bread. We didn't have like a legitimate library in dental school, so I would head over to Panera Bread. And get this, I would leave my phone in the car. I would leave it in the car literally for 5 hours, and I would go and I would study. I would bring my dinner in and everything. I would get there, say 5:30, and I would study until it closed at 10:30. I would try and like just stay there. I wouldn't even buy dinner. I would literally bring my dinner and just sitting there eating my food. Put on the noise canceling headphones. I would listen to either rainfall at like night with the bugs in the background. A stormy night, storms. That's good. Just to help you absorb, and focus when you're studying. Or like I said before, the progressive house mixes by Grand Sound. You could find those on. I literally have a like a focus and study SoundCloud mix if you need. Rick Newen said, if you didn't get into OMFS the first time, how many times do you think you would have kept trying? Completely honest, this I actually thought about before match day if I didn't get in. I probably would have just gone general. I would have tried to work in one of my mentors' general dental practices, he was one of my mentors through end of high school through college and dental school. I would have probably asked to work in their office. He was actually an attending. Dr. Vicassi was an attending at general for the GPR at Stony Brook. I probably would have tried to go, literally, this is probably what I would have tried to do, go there, and I would have tried to work for him as much as possible and just learn from him. He's super smart, great dentist, great guy, mentor of mine, still friend of mine, actually. And that's probably the route I would have gone if I didn't get into oral surgery. Yeah, that's probably it. All right, let's see. Who's that right there? That was Jose. OMS program in my uni has to rotate between pathology, dermatology, neurology, ophthalmology, ENT. Which would you recommend? I would do all those. I mean, I wouldn't do derm. I would not do neurology. Yeah, number one, I would cut out neurology. You mean like which ones? Do you get to choose which ones you rotate through? I would do ophthalmology. I would do ENT. I would do pathology, and then I would cut out neurology and dermatology if you could pick. I don't know how that works. User 5573, how do you stay motivated throughout school? Well, I mean, we all have our outside interests, right? Whether it's watching TV, cooking, exercising, playing an instrument. You gotta keep up with those things. You gotta keep up with your hobbies. They're so important. That's what you end up relying on to help you get through the days. I mean, just in general, you know what I mean? So I would definitely consider keeping. One of my issues is that one of my favorite things to do in this world is music producing, and I don't have time. I barely had time through dental school to do that. In fact, I didn't have time in dental school, and I really don't have time to do music producing in residency. So I'm at a loss, That's something I regret. I wish I could produce music all the time. I was able to do it my gap year. I think I got it's like 14 or 15 songs or something. But yeah, looking forward to getting back to that soon. I'm going to try with mixing first, make some sets from my Spotify playlists and maybe overlay it with an ab workout and then get back to music producing when I get a little more time. I got to make time. It's one of my favorite things in this world. So that's something I'm actually regretting because I really want to do it more. Honey said, do dental schools care about online classes? I mean, I'm sure they'll consider them. I don't know what you mean by care about them, though. Like, they're probably not going to, I don't know. It's a class, though, too, right? So they're probably going to look at that. Bread_Pit said, it's rained for the past week. I need to get outside. Well, go outside. Go. User 147165 said, start dental school in August. Scared I won't be good in a lab. Well, the cool thing about working with your hands in the sim lab is you can practice. You can buy extra teeth. They're plastic teeth. You can buy them and you put them in the mannequin and you can practice on them. They're like $3 a piece. A piece. $3 a piece. They're like $3 a piece. I don't remember how much they cost. Yeah, they you buy them, you just get some extra and practice a little bit more. That's the cool thing about dental school is that if you work really hard and you practice more, you don't know what your hand skills are going to be like. But when you find out, you could work harder, get more repetitions, and practice more and get better at it, So Sebastian said, anything I should avoid during the application/interview process for dental school? Don't just talk about yourself the entire time. Answer questions, ask some questions. Remember, it's a conversation on your interview. So that's really it. Be honest, be transparent about your resume, your application, any scores that you're unhappy with. Be realistic about it. Think about what you could have done better. Be honest. Showing self awareness in that regard shows growth, and that's something that you would want to have. If you got a C on your resume, if you got a C on your record, I would want to address that, whether it be in the personal statement or in the interview. It's something that you might be self conscious about. If they bring it up, make sure you have something in back pocket to say, oh, I'm really disappointed with this grade. It's something that I had to swallow and move on from because, yada yada. But unfortunately, this happened during the semester. This is how I would have done something differently to make sure that I attain the score that I want. And that's what I've been doing going forward. And I haven't had a C since, hopefully, if that was to be your case. You know what I mean? Honey said, do dental school. Yep. Dental school classes do dental schools care about online classes? Answered that one. Sebastian just got the number 2 gifter badge. Awesome, Sebastian. Awesome. How's everyone doing tonight on the Saturday night? Is anyone else in the Manhattan area? Because it's like really gloomy and clammy out tonight. It's like a cold, wet, kind of gross. Pretty good porters. Is anyone else like these darker beers? This is a porter by Founders. Pretty good, man. I'm happy with it. For a colder night. I switched to more ales, pilsners, lagers, lighter beers. I like lighter beers in the summer. My favorite's Kona Brewing. Not Corona, Kona Big Wave. That's my favorite beer in the summer. And then in the wintertime, I don't know. I don't know if I have like a favorite. I don't know if I have like a number one favorite wintertime beer. I'm gonna go grab a Brooklyn. Let me see. Yeah, I do like Brooklyns. For the maybe like the springtime. When I graduated dental school, graduated undergrad, they actually took us on a beer tour to the Brooklyn Brewery, and they made this beer that they don't make anymore. But it was like super delicious. And then I would have it on Friday nights when I would mow the lawn. I don't know, something about I don't know. I look forward to Friday nights just to mow the lawn now. After I did that through dental school, first 2 years of dental school, and then I would mow my lawn in like undergrad. Yeah, that was awesome. So anyway, and yeah, it's funny how you like something that was just so tedious back then. Now you like look forward now just to have that peace of mind and something to kind of relax to. You know what I mean? Where you don't have to think. You could just kind of go in autopilot mode and breathe. Isn't that weird? How like in hindsight you look at that. Underscore Mo3 said, "What questions did the interviewer ask?" Yeah, so interviews, they generally ask 4 to 5 questions, and it goes something like, tell me a little something about yourself. Keep it under like a minute and a half. They'll ask you, tell me about your strengths, tell me about your weaknesses. Why do you want to go to dental school, or why do you want to go to oral surgery residency? And then why our school or program, right? And just have something in your back pocket about like how you can answer those quickly, and make sure you have some answers that are personal to you, answer with things that you're passionate about and truth, but also think of what's something that might be a little bit unique that will give the interviewer something to remember. Does that make sense? When your application comes across their desk and they see your name or photo at the top, you want to make sure that they remember you right away. Like, oh, that was the kid that talked about the bananas thing and whatever. You know what I mean? Like something simple, but something unique that will help you be remembered when the time counts, right? Could you repeat that, please? The live kept buffering. Oh, shoot. Are you serious? Wait, which part do you want me to? Let me know what you want me to repeat. Sam underscore Miller.3. Why wouldn't you do something like orthopedic surgery instead of OMFS? I really don't want him in. Orthopedic surgery you need to do generally in a hospital setting. And I don't know. I don't enjoy working in the hospital. I don't. I like the clinic. I like the clinic setting. That's how I am. That's the surgeon I'm going to be. I want to be a surgeon in the clinic, okay? I want to be doing everything that I can do under the sun in oral surgery in a clinic setting. I don't like working in the hospital. The hospital takes all your money. They control everything. You're restricted by them, sterilizing the instruments. In a way, it can be great. But what happens when you're getting ready to do those arch bars reduction? We literally had this at the hospital last week. We were repairing a fracture and put the arch bars on. There were no wires. The hospital didn't have any wires. How can you put someone into MMF without any wires? So, oh my God, I had that podcast with the oral surgeon in Memphis, Tennessee, and she was saying how they were doing fracture repair and they didn't have the instruments in the hospital. Could you imagine you're in the middle of the surgery and they don't have the instrument? Yeah, like the sterilization, they lose it, it's misplaced. They've never done this fracture that they need the instrument for. Oh, dude, there's so many things that happens when, the hospitals just have such a ownership over the healthcare. Interview question part? Yeah. Got you, Mo. I got you, Mo. So, hold on a second, guys. Yeah, so for the interview questions, number one, tell me a little something about yourself. Keep it about under a minute and 30 seconds. Give your life story. Give things that are relatable to you that people can connect with, like family person, you like dogs, you played an instrument growing up, you're very religious. Something quick, say through dental school, I kept up with playing the instrument for my grandparents, and then like throughout residency, I did externships, yada yada, here and here. I don't know. Like tell your life story. It's like an elevator pitch. Have you seen those videos about the elevator pitch? User 3960. Please tell me why dental health care is not covered by regular insurance. It's crazy. It seems crazy. If it was, dentistry it probably wouldn't be where it is today if it was. I don't know. You wish things were so simple, but everyone wants the answers now. No one's patient. Certain things are actually better for. I know it's hard to understand. I have a feeling that you don't believe me. Sam _ Miller.3. I feel like I'm more passionate about orthopedic surgery than OMFS, but OMFS seems more in control. OMFS is more in control for their career in a clinic setting. That's why I like the clinic and not the hospital. Orthopedic surgery is pretty cool, but remember, Sam, orthopedic surgery is through the medical school route, oral surgery is through the dental school route. So that's something you're going to have to consider. Ish Kebab said most comfy scrubs. Actually, these ones. These are just regular hospital scrubs, but I really like the color. And they're extra larges, so they're like really big and baggy on me. And they're so comfortable. I wear them on weekends. One of the nurses at the private hospital got these for me because I was like, dude, these scrubs are awesome. So she grabbed them for me. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it's got a nice pink. I don't know. Hey, man, I found it to be cozy. Kyle Sharp joined. What's up, Kyle? What's up? All right, guys. I think I'm going to pack it in. I'll do one more question, guys. One more question, then I'll pack it in. Here we go. Ben Show. Can AI take over dentistry? Will dentists be needed? I think anything that's hands-on, AI. No, look, AI might eventually take over a lot of things, right? But people always appreciate human connection. And AI, it's going to take a while for AI to really do that because people want to meet another human being. We live for connection, essentially, at the end of the day, right? Whether more or less, it's generally connection that people live for, okay? Think about that. It comes to be true when you really ask a lot of questions. AI is going to start to take over the things that don't have hands-on things, right? So surgery, yes, AI will definitely be adjunctive eventually, but AI is really getting pretty close to like a family medicine doctor, a PA, recommending orders, creating pathways for diagnoses, evaluating x-rays. There's AI is doing a lot right now, but it's going to mostly be adjunctive for a long time. But anything that's surgical with hand skills is relatively more protective for a while. Marilyn said, wait, do you work in multiple hospitals or clinics? Yeah, in oral surgery residency, our residency, we cover the dental school and 3 hospitals right here for one salary. Could you imagine that? We got to cover one person on call today. One person's on first call for 3 hospitals. This is the reality of healthcare today. Yeah, one salary, 3 hospitals. _Mo3, are you planning on getting your own practice? Well, I'm not going to get my own practice necessarily. I'm going to be working as an associate, and I'm hoping that maybe I could prove myself that I'd be worth as a partner. It's going to be 2 years of working there. Like I got to go balls to the wall and work hard and prove that I'm a good surgeon and that I bring more to the practice than just surgery. That's what someone I would imagine looks for in an owner or in a partner. And in equity too. Equity is another thing. Yeah, it would be probably like sweat equity where you work and they slowly buy in. Ramton R said, what's a good CBSE score? Try and get above 70s. It's not like a hard break. If you don't get a 70, that doesn't mean you can't apply. And then the higher you get is stronger in some cases. Sally McDaniel said, who are the highest paid doctors in the specialties, including OMFS? Who are the highest? I don't know. I don't know who the highest paid doctors are. People that own lots and lots of practices, they're usually the most wealthy. Yep. Private equity owners. That's the answer. The answer to that one, the private equity owners that own doctors now. That's who it is. Oh, don't get me started on that. _Mo3 said, what was your GPA and DAT score? My GPA in undergrad, it was 3.6. My DAT score was a 21 academic average and a 22 on the PAT. The PAT is the perceptual abilities test. That one, that's like, I love that. It was like Legos. It was like you rank angles based on which one's larger and smaller, and they all look the same. It's like crazy, but it was a good one. All right, one more question, guys. And then I got ahead. One more question, friends. By the way, guys, before out there is, what was your GPA in dental school? No, we didn't have GPAs in dental school. We were unranked. We did have grades, but we were unranked, so they didn't give us GPA. You know what I mean? Bencho said, good night, guys. TikTok Live number 57. Thanks for coming on. Happy Saturday. Today is the 5th of April now. April's always a good month. April, I love to kind of go like to the grindstone and really like get some work in. And yeah, TikTok live number 57. Thanks for coming on, guys. Top 5 listeners. I'll be giving you guys a shout on the caption of the podcast and YouTube. And I'll see you either next week or tomorrow. I might do a surprise one tomorrow, since tonight was kind of like a surprise one. But all right, guys. Good night, friends.